It's finally here! Mistlands has been released to the public test branch, meaning it'll be available to everyone very soon. There's new mobs, new dungeons, new NPCs, new items, a new boss, and magic has been added to the game. Today, I'm going to show you everything there is to see. And when Mistlands goes public, Kysen is starting a brand new season. That's my server that you guys can join, link is in the description. I'm giving away free copies of Valheim to my subscribers, plus I'm on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and then I'd get one of these, which would really mean the world to me, so please do consider subscribing. So here we are with the game loaded up, and we have that wonderful new Mistlands logo, which I'm just so happy to see. Now if I go ahead and hit start game and go for a new character, there are already some differences just on this section. So we have some very cool new hairstyles, as you can see here, kind of like an afro type of thing going on, and you can go for a thicker one if you really want to. And then we have some like braided stuff happening here as well. This is awesome. There are so many new things already, so definitely if you like to play around with character styles, that's something that is already new. Let's see if there's new beards as well, and there definitely are a few new beards in here. There's a few things that definitely look different a little bit funny, so yeah, I think they've added some things in. So there we go. If you like customizing your characters, then already that is something new you can do in Mistlands. But the first thing I'm going to do is use my existing character here and put him into an existing world and see how the Mistlands update affects that world. I've got a few things to test with you guys, and hopefully I'll answer all of your questions. So this world right here I've had going for ages. I'm going to load into there and see what the differences actually are. So everything in my world looks normal here, but I'd expect it to be because this isn't a Mistlands biome. I will say that my game did take quite a while to load in the first time I loaded the world, but on subsequent times of loading it, it's actually been loading in at a normal speed. So I assume it's just a case of the game updating everything to Mistlands, so if yours takes a while, don't worry too much. Now if I press M and get the map open, let's scroll out here and let's have a look. So this is my explored Mistlands down here, and yes, this is definitely different. So Mistlands before just looked like this, really, just looked like black forest terrain, but now you can see it's all purple and black and misty as you'd expect for Mistlands. So let's venture in, see what we see, and see what looks different when we get there compared to things I had there before. And here we go, my first time in Mistlands. This is so exciting, and I have a bum staring at me straight away. So I was being mooned by this guy. This is the Gjall, I think that's how we say that, and more to come on him and all the other creatures, of course, later on. Oh look, there's a rabbit down here. Well, I think it's a hare actually. Yes, there's a hare just here. There's all sorts going on here. We have seekers, we've got verger rogues. This is the best little spawn place ever. Oh my god, there's an epic battle ensuing already. Okay, what I was actually trying to check out was just the new terrain and also some of this stuff that I've got going on that I'd already built here. So basically there can be some height map changes, and you might get some funky things going on like this. One of the devs tweeted about this recently, so do be sure to back up your worlds, guys, before you go into the new Mistlands update. Obviously this was just done for testing purposes, but if you had a nice build here, then it could all crumble down, and that is not so good. So here I am at spawn in an existing world, and I just wanted to see if the new boss stone will get added in or not, and the answer is yes it does. This is it right here. This is where our new boss stone will be hung. The Yagluth was where it finished before, right, and now we have this one right here for the new boss, which is called the Queen. More to come on the boss segment later down in the chapters, but just doing this initial test for your worlds that are existing. When you update to Mistlands, yes, the new boss stone will be here for you. So I'm now going to create myself a brand new world, and this is obviously done after I've got the Mistlands update installed. So let's create this and see what the difference is. Shouldn't be too much of a difference, apart from we'll see now the Mistlands as it should be. So we've come into a brand new world here and done the explore map command, and we can see here the Mistlands terrain generation with all these purple ones around the outside. So just picking a biome at random here, we'll go for this one right here because why not? Let's go ahead and teleport into that and see what we can find. Okay, here we are. This is what you see, and obviously it's called Mistlands for a reason, guys. It is very misty and very difficult to see. In fact, that coupled with the terrain, which is very hilly with a lot of big drops and things, is going to make this quite a difficult biome indeed. But we're going to talk about how we navigate our way through that, of course, in this video. So you can see that with 1 silver and 1 wisp, you can go ahead and craft up a wisp light. So let's go ahead and do that real quick, and then we right click that to equip it in the same way you would the Mage NPCs. So the wisp light recipe right here, you see you do need a wisp for it. So how do you get a wisp in the first place? Well, what you'll need to build is one of these things right here, which is a wisp fountain. And as you can see, you'll need an item called a torn spirit. Now this is the Yagluth drop. Oh, there's a hare pushing me around. What do you do? Anyway, that hare is, oh god. Yes, so this right here, we need the torn spirit. This is the Yagluth drop. So when you've killed Yagluth, this is the drop you now get. And if you've already killed Yagluth in your worlds and you have those Yagluth drops, they will automatically turn into the torn spirits for you. So when you've got that stuff, you place the wisp fountain down. It doesn't have to be placed in Mistlands. It can be placed anywhere you want. And then you need to wait for darkness, which it tells you as you're looking at it here. So I've gone and set the time to night, and now we have the darkness that the wisp fountain needs. And it says right there, the wisps are coming. So now all we have to do is wait. So I've taken my wisp light off. It's a little bit dark, but at least now you can see what's happening. See these wisps that are coming in right here? You just go look at them. Where are they? There he is. Come over here. here. Okay, there we go. And press E on it. There we go. And that's how you pick them up. So that's how you trap the wisps and how you pick them up. And in doing that, as you can see, that is how we clear the mist around us. And that way we are able to see. So we've got this little orb following us. And as we run around, it clears the mist for us. Now, even with that, the visibility is not fantastic. You can see here, we can see a little bit around us, but mobs could still jump out at us. So it could be a little bit tricky, but that is how it currently works in the game. Now, Mistlands does, of course, have a lot of like hills and cliffs and things like that. And when we get up here, we do have a bit of a better overview of everything that's going on. So coming on up to these higher regions could be a really good way to see where you want to go next and potentially to escape from any mobs that are chasing you. However, if you're going to do that, you're probably going to want one of these things, guys. This is the new feather cape. And as you can see down here, full damage minus 100%. That's right, guys, 0 full damage. Now, to make this, you do need a few different materials right here. And I'm going to go into how you get these materials later on. But for now, let's just go ahead and craft one of these up and I'll show you guys how it works. So we're just going to right click to put that cape on and he's equipped that. There we go. And now from all the way up here, we can fall and look at this. It really slows us down. So I'm falling really, really slowly and I won't take any damage when I hit the floor. So here we go. And boom, look at that. We fell so slowly. We took 0 damage whatsoever and we fell all that way. So that's a very cool new feature here in Mistlands. Now, when we come onto the mob section, and do remember there are chapters on this video if you need to skip ahead or backwards, but that's when I'll talk about the drops of the different mobs. So I'll show you guys how to get all this stuff later on. Don't worry, all the information will be in this video. I'm just trying to keep it organized. So the next thing that we should look at, in my opinion, is all the mobs that we're going to see here. And there are actually 9 new creatures plus the Mistlands boss to look at. Now, these creatures aren't all enemies, of course. Not all 9 of them are enemies, but we do have a few new enemies, mainly the Seeker family. So we have the Seeker itself, the Seeker Brood, and the Seeker Brute, as well as the Gjall, the Ticks, and then we have the friendly creatures such as the Hare and the Hen, and of course the chicks for them. Now, of course, not all of these 9 are enemies. Some of them are friendlies and NPC style things as well. I'll kind of explain that as I go through, but let's go find them and go through them one by one. So this right here, guys, is a Seeker. There we go. Oh my goodness, like a giant cockroach. Now, I'm doing this whole tutorial in cheat mode just to speed things up so I can get the information out for you guys in the best way possible. And that means it can't see me and attack me, but this is it right here. And boy, it's an ugly looking thing. So let's go ahead and take myself out of ghost mode so it knows that I'm here, and now it should come and attack me. But I'm still in god mode, so although it'll attack me, it won't do any damage. I just wanted to show you guys the attacks that it can do. So let's say it just comes at us and just goes at us there with its like front, I guess, pincers we'd call them. So there we go. It's like sort of headbutting me there with the one pincer it's hitting me, with the other pincer it's hitting me, and I think it does, yeah, like a double attack as well. So it looks like it headbutts and it does attacks with each of its pincers and sometimes with both of its pincers. So yeah, it looks like it does a lot of damage. Incidentally, I will in the future be making a full guide on all the Mistlands mobs and how best to defeat them. Today we're just doing an overview of them all. So I've gone ahead and killed a load of Seekers in this region, so now we can have a look at what they actually drop. So it looks like these things right here, so we've got some Seeker meat from them over here. Okay, very cool. And what's this, a carapace? Is that how I'm saying that, carapace? Someone will tell me down in the comments, I'm sure. Okay, so here we go. We've got a plate here of chitinous armor. That's what the carapace is. And then of course the Seeker meat, which will be used of course in some of the new food recipes. Incidentally, there are 15 new food items and I will cover all of them later on in this video, but that is a lot to add in just this one update. Now on top of that, we also get the Seeker trophy right here. So let's build that and see what that looks like. And there we go, guys. This is what it looks like. What a fantastic trophy. I just know so many people will come up with some awesome designs for this thing, but there we go. So that of course is another drop we can get from the Seeker. Now another new mob is this thing right here. This is the Seeker Brood. Look at this little guy, like a mini version, I guess, of the Seeker, and I guess that is what it's meant to be. So once again, let's take Ghost off and see what this little guy does. Oh, he packs a little punch actually. He's little, but he's feisty and he hits pretty hard. So he sort of scuttles around and then attacks with the 2 front pincers each time. That's the only attack I'm seeing him do so far. Yeah, looks like that's what he's gonna do. So what drops do we get from Seeker Broods? Well, let's see. So we've got some royal jelly here. Very interesting. Let's see anything else that they drop. So it looks like they just dropped this, the royal jelly, and it can be eaten, as you see there. 15 health and 15 stamina. But I have a feeling maybe this is going to be used also in some more complex recipes. Those little Seeker Broods do not have a trophy drop, so the only thing they drop is going to be that royal jelly. Now, this next one is a Seeker Soldier, and also known as a Seeker Brute. And guys, these are scary. They make a lot of noise. They are very big and very ugly. So let's go ahead, let's remove Ghost, and let's see what happens when this guy knows that we're here. Oh my goodness. So there we go. One big attack there with his right hand, then his left. Like a stomp attack that did an AoE damage. Then he headbutts us. There we go. Get good old headbutt from him. And then the double pincer attack as well. So those seem to be his attacks. The double stomp and then also the headbutts and things as well. But it looks like he's actually destroying the land quite a bit as well while he's over here, in the same way that like a troll might when he hits with his club. So these things are absolutely epic. They are very scary, but also very awesome indeed. So I've killed a load of these guys, and let's see what the drops are we get from them. So we get some seeker meat once again, and that was the same as before. Oh, but we did get some new stuff. Let's pick it all up and then see. Okay, so this is the new stuff we got right here. These are mandibles. So it says the hand of man could hardly design a more perfect weapon. So there we go. Guess that's a crafting recipe for some weapons. Now, I will, of course, cover all the weapons, armor, and tools that have been added as of Mistlands, and we'll look at the recipes for all of them. But that's how we get mandibles. So if that's a recipe item later, then we know where to get them from. Now, this, guys, is the Gjall, and look how awesome it is. It's got to be one of my favorite new creatures. I can't even get close enough to it. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, yeah, there he is right there. I mean, he flies around like some sort of zeppelin. It's just awesome. Now, I've taken off Ghost, so the Gjall will know that I'm here potentially if he can see me, and he has a very interesting attack. Let's see if we can get this to happen. All right, there's the Gjall, guys. Are you hearing that noise? Hopefully that's coming through on camera. I'll try to get that noise for you. It is an awesome, ominous, scary noise. And look at this. Things are coming down at us. So the Gjall, guys, he will shoot down these things at us. And here we go. Look at it. These are ticks. And oh my goodness, it's raining fire. There is craziness happening right here. So these ticks will attach themselves to you, as you can see here. And they're really difficult to get away from. You have to dodge roll, but they eat up your stamina and they do a lot of damage. And at the same time, you're getting shot with fire from the Gjall. It is absolute craziness. Let's quickly go ahead and kill these mobs a second. Go back into ghost mode real quick as well and see what we actually got from these things. Incidentally, I forgot to show before, but the Seeker soldiers do drop trophies, and this is how they look. Looks like something like out of the Alien vs Predator movie. Absolutely fantastic. The Gjall trophy, I mean, he doesn't look too happy to be there at all. It's quite a funny little trophy, that one. Again, I'm sure there'll be some really awesome things done with this, and I absolutely love it. And then we have the tick trophy, which just looks like kind of interesting. It's quite a small one, quite like different to the others, but I still like it in its own little way. Now, as for the drops, we got a couple things right here beyond the trophies. That includes these blood clots right here, and also the bile bag. So the bile bag, you see there, you get those from the Gjalls, and the blood clots, you get those from the ticks. And that now covers the enemy mobs that you can find whilst roaming around in the Mistlands biome. Now, we do have some friendly new mobs as well. Look at this. We have a hare. There he goes. He's running around. How awesome is the hare? I just tried using the tame command and it didn't work. So I don't believe that hares can be tamed, but you can, of course, kill them. So when you kill the hare, you get a hare trophy, and this is how it looks. It's kind of weird. I don't know if that's meant to be his feet or something, but yeah, that is the hare trophy right there, guys. Now, the other items you get from them are these things right here. So we have the scale hide and also the hare meat. So obviously the hare meat will be used for cooking recipes, and the scale hide we saw in a recipe before, and that'll be used in all different types of recipes. But the big one will be the new feather cape that we talked about before over here on the right. Now, I've turned the vegetation down low so you guys can actually see these things, but we have a load of hens and chickens here. And as you see here, they can be tamed and they can be petted and they love you. So that is a new tameable animal in the game. So in order to breed chickens, you'll first need to get eggs, and you can do that by coming to Haldor. He now has a new trade, as you can see here. So an egg is very expensive at 1,500. It is now the new most expensive item in the game. However, the good thing about it is once you've bought one egg, you do of course have unlimited eggs and chickens for the rest of the game, which is probably why they made it so expensive. Now, the hens and the chickens do not drop any of their trophies, but what they do drop are feathers. So feathers are now farmable in the game, which is awesome, and also chicken meat, which is going to be very useful for a new food recipe. And you can also get these things right here, eggs, and if you hover over them, they say they are too cold. Now, I have an egg on this fireplace. It's really hard to see, but if I just go over there we go. You see that egg, and in brackets it says warm, and obviously this is on top of the fire, but we actually have one close by here, and this is also warm. Now, I believe the requirements are that it does need to be in a sheltered environment like this, but then if you have a good fire, you can warm the eggs, and by doing this, they will actually hatch into chickens. This is one of the coolest mechanics about Valheim. I swear, I'm so happy about this. This is so fun and so awesome. So that's how chicken farms are going to be a thing, guys. How awesome is that in the game? These little things here will hatch into little chicks, and those chicks will grow up to hens. Now, there are a number of new NPCs in the game, but probably everyone's favorite is going to be this guy right here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Munin. So we've got Hugin. He's just over there as well. We've got Hugin and Munin. They're both in the game now, and that's just awesome. So let's see what he says for the first thing he's ever said to us. Okay, he's telling us about the Diverger clans, which is kind of handy because that's what we're about to look at. So these Diverger mages will spawn in their little base areas right here, and how amazing are these areas, by the way, guys? The aesthetic of them, the look of all these different blocks and things is just fantastic. Now, you see there's crates in here. There's all types of different build materials in here. We have a Diverger component crate over here. There's all kinds of things. It's really, really cool. Now, these guys are friendly towards you unless you either attack them or start damaging their base by just hitting it, with your tools and weapons, or if you steal from them. So let's get out of ghost mode right here. So now I'm not in ghost. You'll see this guy doesn't care that I'm here at all. And I can go ahead and pick the stuff up off the floor just like this. There we go. That's not a problem either. And this is all the new black marble, which we we'll come on to later on. However, if I go ahead and start hitting into their crates in order to steal from them, then they will get annoyed at me. And here we go. He's about to attack. Here we go. He's shooting things and he's going crazy. And when he does that, he starts to take down his base and also does huge damage. It's just chaos. It's absolute chaos when they do this to you. So you do want to be careful about stealing from them or attacking their base or anything like that until you are a lot more geared in the game. But yeah, it's quite fun to do that and see them just take down the base as they go. And I did mention at the start there's new magic in the game, and these guys are obviously a part of that. You can see here he's using his magical attacks there, like his magic staff, and we'll come on to our magic abilities and stuff later on. So if you do attack their base and kill them and steal their items and things like that, let's have a look at what we can get. So these are all the things we can get, guys, and you see a couple are non-transportable, things like the Diverger extractor and also the copper scrap. You'll see we also get coins and we also get fine wood, as well as the soft tissue and the black marble. So there's all different pieces you can get here, and if we took down the whole base, there'd be more things we could get as well, like these lanterns. So attacking these bases definitely can be profitable if you're able to defeat all the mages, but they are pretty scary and pretty dangerous until you're a bit more geared. But it is a cool mechanic they've added in because they haven't done this with any mobs in the past. These guys, these NPCs, they're completely friendly towards us unless we provoke them, and then they will have a go at us. It's also just awesome to have these new structures in the game, and potentially you could even build like a bit of a base around here and have them as like people that live in your base. In terms of building inside here, you'll see if you try to do it, it'll say that the ward stops you, but that's already taken quite a bit of damage just during those attacks. So you can just keep attacking the ward if you want to until eventually you will destroy it. And once that ward has been destroyed, you are actually able to build inside this area right here. So you could sort of take it over and make it into your own little base, which is pretty cool. Now, dungeons in this game have different looks to them, but this right here is one of them. So this little stone tower thing you're seeing right here is in fact a dungeon. So obviously you'd have to fight the mobs first, but then you can go inside just like this and go down the stairs right here. And of course, all this stuff is also harvestable. You can take down all this, get yourself a load of the black marble. But down at the bottom, we see the mine right here. We can go ahead and hit enter and we go into the infested mine, and this is the new dungeon. So this is what they look like, and they can be quite dangerous places. You have to be very careful and very geared when you come in here. It's also going to be very easy to get lost in these, so do have a plan as you go through because they're very, very big inside and they're quite maze-like, so you definitely need to like have a bit of a plan and an idea of what you're doing. Now, as you can see, you get ticks inside these things right here, and there's actually quite a lot of ticks in here. Now, you'll also see these things right here, and if I go ahead and take myself out of ghost mode a second, then you'll see they hatch into secret broods. So that's where these little guys come from, the ones that we saw before. You can get the royal jelly from in here as well. You can pick that up. Obviously, if you kill the broods, that'll also do it. And do make sure you look around thoroughly because you'll have little areas like this that are actually hidden doors that you can go ahead, walk up to and smash through. And boom, look at that. We've smashed through and we're now through to a whole new section of this mine. As you saw there, we can smash through these vines here as well and keep going. And you'll see these things, guys, hidden doors. So look out for these. They're hidden doors that we can slide open. And how cool is that? What an awesome graphic. And then in here, we have a treasure room. So let's see, we've got a load of coins in this one and a load of coins in this one, as well as these diverger chests. Now, unfortunately, you can't currently make these diverger chests, but hopefully in the future we can because they do look really cool. And you'll also see these things. These are black cores. You want to make sure you go ahead and pick all of them up while you're here. The black cores are used in some of the new workstations. For example, the black forge right here requires 5 of them. So that's how you get the black cores, and that's why you need them. One thing to be very wary of throughout these dungeons is you can get these little holes in the floor, and if you fall down, you can fall quite a long way and take damage. Plus then you'll have mobs down here attacking you, so do be careful where you step. Now this, believe it or not, was actually one of these smaller dungeons. So what I'm going to do now is go find another dungeon and show you some of the other stuff you can find within them. Another item you can find in the mines is this thing right here, and you're going to need to go ahead and get your pickaxe. Let's jump up here, and then you smash it in order to get it, and boom, there we go. We picked up a seal breaker fragment. So the seal breaker fragment, that's one of these things right here, and you need to get 9 of them in order to make one of these right here, which is the seal breaker. Now that is the item that is used to spawn in the new boss, so another fantastic reason that you should be exploring dungeons whenever you find them. So this right here is the other type of dungeon that you can find in the game, and how cool does this look? Let's have a little fly around actually, and we can get a better look at this thing. So yeah, we've got this awesome big staircase here leading up to the dungeon, and these huge jagged rocks that stick out from the side there. It just looks absolutely fantastic. Again, it is guarded by seekers, so you have to beat those in order to get in, but then of course when you get up to the top here, this is where we enter into the infested mine. Here's another example of the old diverger gate that you can open up as well. So they do look a little bit different, and you just need to look at every little last bit of these dungeons in order to find all this stuff. So another really useful thing you'll find in these new dungeons is of course the new Vegvisor for the new boss. So this is the location stone. So you press E right there, and there we go. And this is the one I actually already bumped into earlier. So we saw how to find the boss location by finding the boss stone in the new dungeons in Mistlands. And this right here is what it looks like. And my goodness, is this absolutely incredible. I'm sure you guys will agree. This looks fantastic. So walking in your normal mode rather than just in cheat mode, this is what you'll be greeted with. This imposing, impressive structure. And of course, it will be guarded by seekers, which you will have to kill before you can enter. And with those taken care of, we come up the stairs to this incredible looking door. Look at this, guys. How cool is that? And we have this stone right here, a mysterious text, which you can of course read. And it says, "We sealed the door and scattered the key, leave her be," which I love. Obviously that plays to the whole lore of this thing. They've scattered the key, we get the key fragments to make the key, which unlocks the door. So this is a really cool thing about the new boss, guys. With all the bosses in Valheim so far, as you know, we spawn them into the world. Now with this boss, however, it's a little bit different. We have to get ourselves into her, so it's a whole different thing. And to do that, you need one of these guys, a seal breaker made from 9 of these seal breaker fragments. Each of them can be found in dungeons in the Mistlands as you're going through. But once you have one of those seal breakers, we're going to open the door, and I'm going to be quiet for a minute and just show you guys the animation of this door opening because it is absolutely fantastic. So here we go. And there we have it, guys. The mist pours out, and what a truly epic way for us to get to the new boss. Now, once inside, you'll also need 3 of these things. These are the Seeker Soldier trophies. I need to find this altar, which if you run up the stairs a bit, you'll find it up here. And it requires all 3. So when we place them, all 3 get put here, and this is our way of then spawning the boss into this dungeon area that we've just unlocked. And there she is, guys, the Queen. The Queen wants it all, it says. So let's see if we can find her. All right, there she comes, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, so these attacks with the mist can be really difficult to spot coming. And she does these big lash attacks at you, as you can see, and like a double lash there as well. So yeah, definitely a tricky boss to fight because she is going to do massive damage. And as you're running around and she's hitting at you and hitting things, she can actually destroy the structures as well, which can get you like trapped and stuff. So you really have to be careful with this one. Now, another thing she can do is spawn in ads, and her ads are, of course, these Seekers. So again, you have to be very careful of them while you're in here as well. She will spawn them in to attack you. Another thing she can do is like dig underground where you can't get her, and then she'll come right back up on top of you. So she's definitely a really difficult boss to beat. Now, I will in the future do a full tutorial on how to defeat this boss and everything you need to know. Today is obviously just the overview video, but yeah, this is hopefully a good overview of the boss. So now let's look at what drops we get from her. So the drops we get from her, guys, are of course the Queen Trophy, and we'll talk about that in a second, and also the Queen Drop. So just like the previous Yagloof drop that was a placeholder and is now useful, the Queen Drop is the same and doesn't have a use yet in the game, but will do in the future. So as for the new boss drop, I am now at spawn, so let's go ahead and hang that trophy up there. And as you can see, guys, we have faster mining. I'm so happy for this. This is going to make the late game build so much easier in survival mode. And we also have plus 100% Eitr regen. So what is Eitr? Well, that is all to do with a new magic, which is the next chapter in this video. So there is now a whole new magic element to the game of Valheim, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So right now I'm wearing the Eitr armor. So you can see here that we have the Eitr weave hood, the Eitr weave robe, and also the Eitr weave trousers, and each of them gives you Eitr regen bonuses. So the hood gives you plus 20%, and the robe and trousers each give you plus 40%. So you can total, of course, plus 100% of your Eitr regen. Now, in order to get Eitr to use in magical attacks and things, what you need to do is eat Eitr food. So you can see here, food now has health, stamina, and Eitr stats. Most of the food in the game is still like the normal stuff. It's just got the health and stamina, but some of the Eitr foods, and there's only a few of them in the game, but they have this third stat there in purple. So if I go ahead and eat the Eitr foods right now, you'll see down here we got an Eitr bar in the same way that you have like a stamina bar in the game, and that starts to fill up once we eat the Eitr foods, but it'll be used up when we do magical things like attacks with different staffs. So we have here 3 staffs: the staff of protection, one of frost, and also one of embers. So I've equipped the staff of protection first, and if I go ahead and left click with that, then you'll see I do this thing right here where I give myself a little orb around me, and this orb will protect protect me, which is really, really awesome. So of course it doesn't last forever. It just lasts for a little while, and it uses Eitr in order to generate. Up in the top right, we have a countdown of how long is left for our magic barrier. So if I spawn in a seeker, you'll see it tries to attack me, but my magic barrier will protect me. I still get knocked back, but I don't get damaged by the seeker. However, as you saw there, the seeker will eventually break through this barrier, so it's not something that lasts forever, but it will give you a bit of protection in the short term. Now let's take a look now at the Staff of Frost. So let's get that on right there, and if we left click here, you can see we can actually shoot these frost attacks at the seeker, and it does a fair bit of damage. So it's a really awesome new way of attacking in the game and giving frost damage as well as the damage of the attack itself. Similarly, if I equip the Staff of Embers and we go ahead and attack with that, it shoots these fireballs at the seeker, which is absolutely awesome. And of course, this will do the fire damage as well as the normal damage. So a couple of new weapons there for the magic thing, which is just absolutely fantastic. Now, something else you can do is this right here. You can make a dead razor. So if we go ahead and equip a dead razor and we go ahead and left click with that, you'll see we're literally going to raise the dead. So here he comes. He's coming up out of the floor. How awesome is that animation? And his name is Eitr. I mean, that's an interesting name. I think he was maybe a Viking pirate, like Eitr. Anyway, we can pet him, and Eitr loves us. Yeah, he loves us. Yep, why would he not? We can left shift and E and we can rename him. So there we go. I've given him an awesome name now. I think that's the best name we could give him. But you'll see now, if there's a seeker nearby, the Eitr will actually fight for us first. Well, if you call that fighting, he's pretty weak, to be honest. So that's the only thing. They are kind of weak, but they will fight for you and at least help you out. And as you raise up your level of Eitr, you can raise up to 2 dead at a time, and they will both fight for you. So just some fun things there we can do with new magic in game, but it comes with some other things as well. So we now have this thing right here. This is the Gjall table, and how awesome is that? Let's go ahead and place that down, and this will give us some new things that we're able to make, including the seal breaker. So you need this to make the seal breaker. We also have improvements for it, like the rune table right here we can place down to improve the Gjall and upgrade what we can do with it. And we have one of these things, an Eitr refinery. So let's go ahead and place that down. How cool does this thing look, by the way? It's such an awesome build. Okay, I was struggling to find a good spot for it, but I have now managed to place it down over here. Now you see, for the refinery right here, you have to go ahead and add items into the top of it. So remember the soft tissue that you get from killing the Diverger rogues and mages? Well, this gets added into the Eitr refinery, as you can see here. So you add that into the top of there, and then you'll see here you need to add in sap. So in order to get sap, what you have to do is go to the crafting area here and select the sap extractor and place it on top of one of these Yggdrasil trees. And then you'll see there it says it's extracting, and it's got 0 out of 10. So you just have to wait, and over time it will eventually extract the sap from these trees that you then collect to put back into your Eitr refinery. So there we go, we got the sap right here, and when you get the sap, this is how you actually unlock the Eitr refinery if you're playing in vanilla. So then you go up to here and we put the sap in there like that, and this thing starts to work, and you can see all the cogs are turning. And I have to say, the animation of this thing is fantastic. These little purple things here, the green sparks that just keep flying off, it's absolutely amazing for the magical effect of this process. And it takes a bit of time, but when it's done, we get these things, the refined Eitr. So that is how you get the refined Eitr in this game. And this unlocks a ton of recipes when you're playing in vanilla mode, including different staffs and also the rune table and other things like that. So the refined Eitr you're going to see a lot of in different recipes. Anything magical, basically, refined Eitr is going to be used for a whole lot of that. And that is the process of how you get it. So next we're going to look at all of the new building, crafting and furniture pieces in Mistlands. And as you can see, there are a lot. So we got the Yggdrasil wood stack. We have a marble stack. These here, I think, the Diverger stake walls. So we got like the one that goes up straight, and these spikes here as well. We also have this new trap, which we can arm by pressing E. And then if anything or anyone stands on it, it does massive damage to the mobs. Next, we have the ballista. And as you can see, it says there's no ammunition. So the different ammunition you can make is down here. Let's see, we've got the wooden missiles and the black metal missiles. Now, as you can see, it's looking around for enemies, and it will actually shoot these missiles at enemies if they come within range. But just because you loaded it, you are not safe. It will also shoot at you. So do be careful with this one. We then have the mortar and pestle. This is a new cauldron upgrade for some of the new food. Then we got this Eitr refinery right here, which I talked about more in the magic section. So you can check that out if you're interested. And this right here is the black forge, and this is the upgrade for the black forge cooler. So this is, of course, the new forge we get in game. It looks absolutely fantastic, and of course unlocks a ton of recipes. Now the sap extractor, as well as the Gjall, I think it's called table, yeah, Gjall table, and the rune table, all this stuff here we talked about before in the magic section, and we also talked about the wisp fountain before as well. Then we have these new build pieces. These are the darkwood build pieces, and we got the slanted versions of them now, as well as some of these things over here. This, of course, being all of the new black marble stuff. So you got all these different shapes, sizes. We've got stairs here, different like triangles and things. It's really, really cool, actually, the amount of new stuff we have now to build with. And of course, the new black marble looks fantastic. We've got these new arches here we can make. We've got round things, and we also got this thing right here. So this is this one right here, the Diverger metal wall, and and it looks absolutely fantastic. The designs that you can do with that is going to be so cool. We've now got these slanted iron beams as well, and we have this, a spiral staircase, which you've got two different directions you can go in. So if you place them together, you just got to go up and right back down. But if you kept placing, say, this one right here, this is like a half and half, then you keep spiraling around and going up and up and up. So there's now a much better way to do spiral stairs in Valheim, and I think that is fantastic. And finally, we have a few new decoration items, such as the black metal bench and throne and the table here. And we also have this, which is the wisp light. So the wisp light, when placed down, will clear the mist around it. So if you want to build a Mistlands base, you'll be placing down a lot of the wisp lights in order so you can see around your base. We now also have some blue jute stuff. So if I go ahead and go to the furniture section, you see that for the blue jute, you can get an actual material of blue jute to make this stuff up. And we got like a carpet, we got some curtains and banners and things like that. So that's pretty awesome. But I think everyone's new furniture favorite is going to be these new lanterns right here. So we got one that stands on its own and one that you can just hang on to anything else that you've built. They look fantastic, and of course they provide light, and this is probably my new favorite item in the game. I'm so excited to build with these. Now, just to give you an idea of the new items in the game, I've separated them into two chests here to have a little chat about these. I will say there are no food or potions in here because I'm going to do that in a separate chapter of this video. So all this stuff right here has been added to the game, and all of it has its different uses and is pretty cool for different reasons. And then everything in here has also been added to the game new, but there's some things I want to talk about each of these things. So the wisp light we've kind of already covered, but it is a massive part of the new game, so I felt like it needed to be in a special section. We have the spine snap, which is a new bow in the game, and it is a very strong bow. You can see that it has a PS of 72. The feather cape, again, we've already covered, but what an awesome addition. I had to put that over here, and this thing's pretty cool, the Diverger lantern. So this is used in recipes for the other lanterns we saw, but you can also equip it when you're walking around. And there we go, you actually hold it as you're walking around, and it will provide light if you're in dungeons and you want a way of lighting them up. We now have a black metal pickaxe in the game, so that's very cool. We can now do a lot faster mining. It's obviously got the extra durability and the extra power compared to before we just had, of course, the iron pickaxe. We also have this thing now. This is the skull and hattie. So let's go ahead and right click that, and it's like a two-handed thing, and you can attack with two hands here in all these different ways, which is kind of cool. So yeah, certainly we'll have a lot of fun trying this out with combat, and I thought I'd definitely mention it as it is something a bit different that's been added to the game. We have a new hammer, and it's called the Demolisher, which is absolutely awesome. And speaking of weapons, we also have the new Mistwalker. So let's go ahead and take that one out, and let's equip that one. And this one just looks really cool as a sword. It makes an awesome noise as well. And speaking of noises, do listen out. There are many new noises in the game. I've noticed them on portals and Gradle spawners so far, but there are a lot of new noises in the game that Valheim have added. Now, this weapon right here is very interesting. This one is called the Himin Apple, and I've probably butchered the pronunciation, but it is a very cool weapon. The reason it's so cool is when you do the middle mouse button special attack, it does a thunderbolt. How amazing is that? Again, I know we're going to all have so much fun attacking mobs with these and doing cool things with them. That is just absolutely awesome, isn't it? And then we also have the Arbalist, which is basically a crossbow and can be loaded with bolts. So for example, these iron bolts right here. And then if you shoot it, it'll actually start automatically loading again for you. So it can do a lot of damage, and there isn't much fall off compared to a bow, but obviously it's two-handed and it's a bit slower than using a bow. So a very cool weapon nonetheless. So now in terms of the new food in the game, if I open this up, this is everything that we now have. So we have salad, Yggdrasil porridge, a mushroom omelette, and a cooked egg, a mist share supreme, a meat platter, a stuffed mushroom, a honey glazed chicken, a fish and bread, and also a cooked sikimi. And underneath here are all the uncooked versions of these things. Again, I'll do a full cooking guide in the future, but this is all the new food that we have to look forward to. On top of that, we also have a few new meads to look forward to, which are the lingering stamina, the major healing, and also the minor Eitr. Now, fishing is going to require an entire video for sure, and I think there's a few bugs with it at the moment, so it'll probably change a little bit before we get to the full release. However, what we can see so far is the following information. So as you can see here, we have a ton of new fish types. On top of that, we also have a load more craftable baits, and they're now biome dependent, which is actually pretty cool. So you can catch different fish in different biomes using different types of bait, making fishing way more complex than it ever was. Fishing is also now a skill, and it says here improves stamina use and pull speed as you level up your fishing skill. The fish can also be picked up and mounted on item stands, which are awesome decoration things, or if you want to turn them into raw fish at the cooking station, then they can be used in other recipes. The fish will also be different sizes, and they follow the waves movement. Now, I'm not entirely sure what that last point means, but again, that'll be something I'll include in the full video when the time is right for that one. One awesome thing is that fish can now jump out of the water and flop around on land. That is very cool, and I'm looking forward to playing around with that. And you also now find fish in ice caves. So as I say, definitely need a whole video on this, but that's the information we have right now. So hopping in game now, you can see all these different types of fishing bait, and as you can see, they all have very different recipes. So it's going to be kind of complex to get right the way through fishing in the game now. It's actually going to be some late game elements to completing it. Another new thing in game is if we go to our skills section right here, you'll see there are now a few new skills. So those are elemental magic, which is the damage and Eitr usage when using the elemental magic. So basically how much damage you do and how quickly your Eitr gets used up. We also have crossbows, so that's for your accuracy and damage with crossbows, and also blood magic. Again, this is damage, Eitr, and health drain when using blood magic. Now, we're also supposed to have a fishing skill, but I can't seem to see it here. I don't think it's on here yet. I actually think this is one of the bugs with it. And this is one of the reasons I want to leave it for a future video when we know the full story with it. So now I'm going to have a little wander around the Mistlands area and talk to you about all of the new resources that you can actually find within this biome. And this seems like as good a place to start as any. These are mage caps and can be found growing all over the biome. We can go ahead and pick them up. And if we hover over them, you'll see they're actually a new food, and they are an Eitr food. They're a smaller Eitr food at only 25 compared to some of the bigger ones like the Yggdrasil porridge, but an Eitr food nonetheless. You'll also find these things. These are called Jotun puffs. So let's go ahead and pick these up. And these will be used in different recipes of things, but are also a little food themselves. Now, during the magic section, we talked about this right here. This, of course, being the Yggdrasil wood. And basically, if you want to harvest the resources from that, what you need to do is go into crafting and make a sap extractor and place it on top like that. And this then starts to extract sap out of the Yggdrasil wood. You'll also see these around. These are Yggdrasil shoots, and they do require a black metal axe in order to chop them down. The iron axe is not strong enough. So when you chop these up, you'll get normal wood from it, but also this right here, which is the Yggdrasil wood, and can be used for a number of different recipes. You'll also stumble across these petrified bones, and you can use your black metal pickaxe in order to chop these down. And you'll see that that is one of the ways that you can get black marble. On top of that, you can find ancient armor and also ancient swords like this one right here. And again, you can go ahead and use your pickaxe on that. And when you chop this down, it's starting to rain right here, and you can see it is raining scrap iron. So we can get iron now in a new way in the game from the Mistlands biome, and we can actually get quite a lot of it by doing it this way. So over here we have another structure in the game. This is a bit of like a ruins type of structure that you can find here in the Mistlands biome, and there are some seekers in here and also a lot of black marble and stuff that you can get. Here we have another structure that generates in game, and another place that you can find the divergent mages and the rogues as well. So this door right here is so awesome. We can open this up. Well, it's already open, I should say, so we can go inside and you can see all the different stuff in here. As before, if you annoy these guys, they are going to attack very strongly and destroy this whole thing, but that can be kind of useful because then you get all the build materials from it. But yeah, another very cool thing that we can get in this game. Another very cool structure you can find in the game is this, which doesn't look like much at the moment, but as we go up, you'll see right here, there we go, it's like a broken bridge. And one cool thing about this is you can attack the bottom of the bridge in order to break the stone here, as you see right there. We're getting a load of stone from it. And it takes a while, but if you manage to take out the entire bottom of the bridge and just wait, then the entire thing will come tumbling down. As you see right here, rocks are falling everywhere, and this is a great way to get yourself a lot of stone. It will also get you a lot of the new black marble resource in the game, as these massive chunks are falling off here all around me. So a cool structure, something you could build off and like build your base on or something like that, but also very useful for getting lots of stone and the new black marble. So guys, the dad jokes are of course coming, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. As it is still in early release and we're figuring all of this out as we go, I'm sure there probably are a few things I've missed because this really is a huge update, but I really have done my best to get all this information out there. I'm also pretty tired. It's 3 a.m. right here and I'm now going to go and edit this, so I might have made a couple mistakes, and if I have, I truly do apologize. I will definitely keep you guys updated with all the new information on my channel though as things are released, and if you guys want to make sure you catch that, then please do consider subscribing. But for now, I just want to say thanks again for watching. I look forward to seeing some of you on the Kysen server or in the comments section, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. What is Easter Bunny's favorite type of music? Hip-hop. A friend of mine is known for sweeping girls off their feet. He's an extremely aggressive janitor. I became a very proud father today. My son actually just turned 5, but he was really boring for the first 4 years. I recently went to the world's tiniest wind turbine exhibit. Honestly, not a big fan.